When I talk about the Deep Purple family, there's one album that I will always go back to as a recommendation for probably the greatest Deep Purple family album that nobody has heard of. Today, I'm going to talk about Hughes Thrall, the self-titled 1982 album by Glenn Hughes and Pat Thrall. It's one of those records that was not a massive commercial hit when it first came out, but it's earned a strong cult following as a favourite amongst hard rock, AOR and melodic rock fans. But to the mainstream, it's virtually unknown. Glenn Hughes was well known as the bassist singer in Trapeze and Deep Purple, Burn, Stormbringer, Come Taste the Band, bringing a powerful, soulful voice and a bass rooted in rock. And then you had Pat Thrall, who built his name as an inventive guitarist through work with Automatic Man and the Pat Travers Band. When the two joined forces, it was a match made in heaven. A sound that was both heavy, textured, big rock hooks, atmospheric keyboards, and guitar textures that looked ahead to the sounds of the 80s. It was kind of a bridge between classic rock, the Deep Purple era, and then the MTV style of the 80s. A little bit of commercial sheen. What makes Hughes Thrall interesting is that you can't pin it to one genre of rock. There's hard rock, there's funk, there's a little bit of R&B, there's soul, there's new wave. It even has a little bit of post-punk spikiness. There's guitar slinging, there's big bass hooks, and there's soulful singing. It's a potpourri of all different styles. And maybe that was the problem. Why it didn't do so well, because radio probably didn't know where to place it. So this album, it was released, it struggled to get an audience, and it wasn't helped along that both Hughes and Thrall were suffering through drug addiction. There was a promotional tour, which they did limited dates with Santana. If they got out a little bit more, it may have been a bit of a hit. Why don't we go to the songs? And that is a way to navigate how truly special this album is. So the first song, I Got Your Number, is a perfect opener. It's direct, it's punchy, and it's built around a really huge rock groove. It immediately gives Glenn Hughes a pathway to showing his vocal power. He gives it a full vocal throttle performance. And Pat Thrall adds a sharp guitar edge, full of tone, full of melody. It keeps the track from going into hard rock or AOR cliche. The Look in Your Eye was a single off the album. It had a video on MTV, which I'll talk about in a moment. It's full of melody and atmosphere. It's polished, it's radio friendly, but there's a bit of grit. When Hughes does that soulful delivery, it gives that extra weight. The lyric, you don't want anybody else to try to run your life. You don't need anybody else to make you sacrifice. You can hear the growl in the voice. The video that came out, mood lighting, was performance driven. It was very slick, and it had a lot of 80s beautiful folk with the mask, a la the album cover, wearing it and taking it off. And if you look at Glenn, he's moving, but he looks completely out of it, unfortunately. He does not look engaged. It was a bit stock standard, and it didn't have the cut through in MTV to use the medium and get such a great song out there. Beg, Borrow, or Steal is one of my favourite songs in the album. It's very catchy. It's got a new wave hook, and it mixes rock swagger with a tighter sense of rhythm and texture. The hook is it's an earworm track, and this should have been a hit. Where Did the Time Go is a really nifty change of pace. It's shorter, more compact, more direct. It gives the album an emotional center. It just shows that this album is just not all power and volume. The last track on side one, you've got Muscle and Blood. Glenn Hughes often plays this song in his song set to this very day. Full of crunch, full of power. It's got this really spiky metal guitar. It's one of the heaviest moments on the album. And, it's just got strength and physicality. Side one finishes the album with a mighty thump with this particular song. So the next song, you flip the album over, side two, Hold Out Your Life. This gives the band space to be performative, show their virtuosity, and it's got one of my favorite Pat Thrall guitar solos. It's absolutely, or any guitar solo per se. Glenn Hughes and Pat Thrall were in this band, but you had Frankie Banali on drums and Peter Schless on keyboards. Got to have a bit of a shout out. The band that they assembled, and Andy Johns did the producing on this album. Look up his CV, As Long as Your Arm, classic rock. The sound is absolutely monstrous. The pride of this country.
That's the way. When he is king, he will have the say. Go down with the midnight. You don't have to stop no way. Crying out, hoping you are dead. You know what I've been tell. Heaven knows what I've been tell. What is meant is meant to be. Only you can set me free. Oh, when you run to.
Who Will You Run To continues the melodic rock feel with a great, strong hook and a sense of urgency. This shows that Hughes and Thrall were great song craftsmen. Coast to Coast is another emotional center of the album. Hughes had recorded this earlier with Trapeze, but he gives it a bit of a modern take. The song is so great, and the old saying, a good song is a good song. First Step of Love. This is a cinematic sort of song. It closes the song with something that's experimental, more dramatic, more expansive, more atmospheric. It works because Glenn Hughes does an absolute masterclass on this song. He goes into that higher vocal register and he absolutely belts it out. If you want to finish the album with an impression and a wow moment, First Step of Love is one of those songs. So overall, the album is just, there's no song that does the same thing. Some are hard and aggressive, some are poppy, commercial, new wave, spiky. It is just a full palette. It's a full palette of color in your ears. The variety is the reason why this album is a major winner, but it is also a reason why it was a bit of a loser in regards to the sales. So there you have it. You've got songs with personality and dynamics, and for all the excesses that probably happened in the making of the album, which Glenn Hughes has been quite open about, it's a miracle that great art has seeped through. It's an album that it sounds as fresh as a daisy. Hughes Thrall is my album that you must hear in the Deep Purple family, and I rank it as probably the number one Deep Purple family album that is criminally underrated and needs to be heard. Please like and subscribe to Rock Daydream Nation. We are the Deep Purple channel. Please put your comments. Love reading them. Good, bad, or indifferent. Click the bell. Press the like sign. Subscribe to the channel. More shows just around the corner. All the best, and cheers.